What is up, Everyday Athlete Podcast Network listeners? Welcome to the Fireside Chat by Run Try Bike. By the way, I need to do better with this intro. This sounds so corporate and stodgy and boring. Like, man, welcome to Fireside Chat. We are going to have a great time today. I'm going to be chatting with Laura Birch, who is the wife of one of the athletes that I've been coaching for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, Jake, who is a terrific person in his own right as well. So I'm super excited to talk to Laura about breathwork and how she wound up here and get into it a little bit about life and our expectations and stresses and anxieties, share my vulnerabilities, and hopefully pull some stuff out of her as we go through that process as well. But before we do it, and here's where the corporation thing comes in, please subscribe, rate, and review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. If you're using Spotify or YouTube to listen or watch, please comment. Like, if you've listened to a single episode or you've exchanged DMs with me, you know I love to talk. You know I love to respond to you. So drop those comments in there. Tell us what you think about this particular episode. Tell us what you think about the network as a whole. The responses you're getting are from me. Nobody else is writing them. They're coming literally from me. So drop them in there. Make sure you head to runtrymag.com. We've got some blog posts that are going up. I've decided to start writing a little bit more here in 2026 and giving you guys a lot more of who I am, my thoughts. I most recently posted about gatekeeping in the endurance sports world, which is a topic that is near and dear to me. And I've also will be dropping on Sunday night. We're recording this on Friday. So on Sunday, which I think is March 1st, I am dropping a blog post that compares puzzles to tile pieces. You figure it out until you read it. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, you will get it there, and then we'll obviously share it everywhere else. Anyway, no more before. Like I said, we're going to just do these things, and we're going to be a lot less corporate about them going forward. So let's bring Laura on. Let's have a fun conversation. Let's get into it, and let's hear what she has to say. Laura, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Excited to do this.
Yeah, me too. This is a little bit different than our Party of Five podcast that we did for the clubhouse, where you got to pick some attendees to a dinner party. So that was a lot of fun. And it's not to say this won't be fun, but I think we're going to get a little bit deeper into who we are as people and share our honesties and vulnerabilities with the world.
Absolutely. I'm excited to dive into all this.
As a matter of fact, this will be airing during Women's History Month. So it's perfect that you're here recording this with me today. So the very first question there's two very first questions. First question is to break the ice. Pineapple on pizza. You're in Jersey. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Only on a certain type of pizza.
Which is?
Thin crust Domino's with just cheese. And then the pineapple off, and that's it.
Red sauce?
Nope.
Just cheese and pineapple.
Yeah.
That might be the best answer I've heard that won't get you kicked off this show. Because 9 times out of 10, people will say, actually 9.9 times out of 10, because you're the first person to say this, they will say, well, I like pineapple on pizza, but it has to have ham and jalapeno or pepperoni or sausage. And I'm like, so you don't like pineapple on pizza. You like it amongst other things, which is not the same as liking pineapple on pizza.
Yeah. I thought, because I learned it from Jake, and he does light sauce with it. And I thought he was absolutely not. It doesn't belong on there. And then I tried it, and it's the best thing in the world.
Have you heard of this new phenomenon, dill pickles on white pizza?
No, but I feel like that's very salty.
It would be very salty, which would be right up my alley. So this is something I'm going to try. The pineapple on pizza is an absolute hell no, like 0% chance. I've never eaten macaroni and cheese in my life, and I'm going to never eat pineapple on pizza in my life.
Well, why haven't you eaten mac and cheese?
It just doesn't strike me as appetizing. So let me go back to when I was a child. My mother would always serve pasta with like red sauce and milk. And I was like, this doesn't work. Like, why are you giving me milk with this bowl of pasta? I'm sorry, it doesn't work. And so as I've gone through life, that visual and that taste bud from back in being a younger kid has always stayed there. So I'm like, I'm not eating mac and cheese. And now it's a calling card. Your face told me everything that I needed to know about never eating mac and cheese again, because people are like, "How in the fuck have you never eaten mac and cheese?" And I'm
Yeah.
great conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, I like it with the breadcrumbs on top, so then you have the crunch with it,
Sure.
but also sometimes a bowl of spaghetti or pasta with a glass of milk really hits the spot.
You know where else you could get the crunch with pasta and dairy? Lasagna. Get a corner piece.
Yeah, the
You got
corner
the
piece.
crunch.
Absolutely. The corner piece.
I think we've broken the ice enough here, but the other question that we always ask is, who is Laura Birch?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
That's a great answer.
Every day I'm like, who am I? What do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be all these different things. And but how do you maybe it's a little ADHD,
Yeah.
but also, you know what? Actually, my friend reads human design. Have you ever heard of human design?
No. Fill me in.
So it's your birthday, your location, and the birth time. And it teaches you all about your makeup, like how you make decisions, your thought processes, who you really get along with, where you like to hang out, where your creativity is, literally everything. So it
So
got
the
me thinking,
location is where you were born, not where you were living.
right where you were born. And it's just fascinating and makes you think about how your whole life makes sense and there's nothing actually wrong with you. It's just the way that you were designed.
Yeah.
So that's been helping me. But who am I? Well, for work, functional and therapeutic breathwork practitioner is the board certification name. I like to say nervous system regulation coach because I think everybody understands that more. And what I like to focus on with that is helping. I like to help anybody, but I really like to focus on moms because we're so overwhelmed and we have so much on our plate and expectations and get touched out and overstimulated with all the noises. So I like to teach them how to regulate within a couple minutes as they go. It's not like sitting in a room doing breath work in a quiet place. Like we don't have time for that unless we're adding another routine to our day. So it's like as we're making our lunches, as we're driving to activities, as you're sitting at a practice or you're doing bedtime reading, whatever it is, as you're moving about your day, you can learn how to regulate your nervous system so you're not building up the stress and letting it, make you snap. It's letting the stress build up, but also bringing it back down so you get to the explosion point. Or you will, I shouldn't say never. Never, that's not a thing. So, that's my passion and my work. I'm very lucky to have that. I'm also a stay-at-home mom, part-time, to 2 kids, a 13-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old very energetic boy. And so my life is running them around and just trying to be present. That's my goal is to like provide a stable home that they always want to be at and bring friends over and they want to be with me, share things with me. Like that's just my goal.
The what
Oh, what did I didn't say?
you didn't say runner.
Oh,
You talked about a mom, but you didn't mention being married. And so the question I would ask is, and I always find this question so fascinating because oftentimes it's a recency bias of what the person who just whatever they just did is 9 times out of 10 what they're leading with.
yeah.
And so this idea that you didn't include runner in there is fascinating to me. And you talked about the things that you're passionate about, being a mom and being able to help other moms, which I think is really damn cool. If you had to dissect your own answer right now, why do you think those were the two things that came up, and wife and runner, and I'm sure a million other things didn't?
Okay, so runner, I know why. I still don't feel like I'm a true runner, but like your community is helping me feel better because I feel like I don't fit the mold. And I know you talk about this a lot too, and that really helps me see like there is no mold.
Yeah. So what do you think the mold is?
fast.
It's
Um,
relative, but go ahead.
that's relative, but like I feel like I'm really slow. Also, you made my husband fast, so that doesn't help. Jason, I saw him texting you the one day after we ran together, and he was like, "We had a very slow run." I'm like, "Very slow run?" He's like, "I just wanted to make sure that he doesn't think that I'm hurt." I was like, "Hurt? Slow?" So, I'm like,
I'm gonna tell him he's gonna have to text me in private from now on. Go to the bathroom,
yeah.
text me from the bathroom, dude.
Oh, so that stung a little.
Yeah,
But no,
but fast is relative. Like, so Heidi, who is also in our clubhouse, commented the other day on a post I wrote on Threads, and she wrote, "Being a slow runner," and I was like, "In comparison to what? Like, what do you think you're a slow runner?" And she put a rocket ship, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm slow compared to a rocket ship too." Right? It's all relative, and so I think like when we think about running, which is a sport that has connected us, I think about this idea of the ideal. What's the ideal runner? And like fast is the thing that always comes up. And then I think to myself,
yeah.
yeah, but if you run a marathon in 4 hours or 7 hours, you still have a marathon medal, regardless of the time, right? So like, let's get rid of that. What else makes you think? Like, what makes you depict a
Yeah.
runner that you don't think you're fitting the mold of?
I think it was social media that really destroyed the
It's that.
vision because I followed all these athletes and all these ultra runners specifically, and they're doing like 6-minute miles or sub sevens, and they're running these far distances doing that, and it discouraged me. So that's also part of the reason I started my social media account. Like, there's too much that I need to get away from on here, and I just need to start fresh. And then I stepped away from all those athletes and people trying to constantly get faster and faster. I was like, that's not the same vibe we're both for. And I am a runner, and it doesn't matter if I'm walking during a run. It doesn't matter if I'm going really slow. Like sometimes it's like a 13-minute pace, and I get really proud of myself.
Yeah, and you
And
should be.
yeah, I showed up and I did the work, and I mean, I did the 50K last year, and I'm like, yeah, I did that. And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah,
Seriously, what do you mean? I mean,
yeah,
I just wrote a blog post that came out earlier this week about gatekeeping in our sports and my thought process on it. And I was like, I ran Western States and finished at a pace that would be 15 minutes and 58 seconds. But if I just told you I ran Western States in 26 hours and 36 minutes and whatever it was, you'd be like, holy shit, you ran,
yeah,
right? But if I said I ran a race in 15 minute at a 15-minute 58-second mile, there would be people out there that would be like, man, what the fuck? You're so slow. Why aren't you getting? And it's like, what are you comparing here? Right?
yeah,
Context matters in these senses, in these areas, and it also doesn't matter, right? Because
yeah,
it's still a 16-minute mile, whether you're doing it on the treadmill or you're doing it at Western States, they're exactly one and the same. There is no different. So, like, I think we just, as long as like folks like yourself and our platform keep telling the people in no uncertain terms, shut the fuck up about pace, we'll get to a place where people don't feel like they don't belong. Then they'll say, I'm just a runner. And they won't use words like, I'm just running a half marathon or I just run 5Ks. It's like, no, man, like that's a big deal. This stuff is really hard.
yeah. I never thought that I would love running as much as I do, and I think it is the most rewarding form of workout. Like, I can get through and alright, I did it. But when I run, I'm like, I really didn't want to do that. That was like fighting for my life out there, constantly arguing with myself, and I did it. I'm like, I feel like I I don't know. It's just like it feels like the biggest accomplishment. And it I think the goal this year for me, because I blew up like last year, I think I overtrained a little bit and underate. So this year, I'm like, my goal is just finish strong, like in one piece, no injuries, train the right way, eat the right way, and just make it through so I can keep running after.
It's interesting, right? So I don't think this idea of fitting a mold is limited to running. My intro was like, this feels way too corporate. Like I'm trying to be this corporate thing. And I'm like, no, like my personality is not that. I need to be more fun. And about 2 or 3 years ago, I interviewed Josh Rosenthal, who runs the Borderlands podcast and platform, and I asked him what podcasts he does he listen to, and he said I don't listen to any. And the reason why he said he doesn't listen to running podcasts specifically, he's like, if I hear what they're doing, I'm going to start to do the things that they're doing, which is going to help them reach their goals, which isn't going to help me reach my goal. And it gave me this sense of like, yes, because I typically don't listen to running podcasts unless somebody sends me one and is like, oh, you need to listen to this episode with Jane Smith on it or Joe Smith on it, and then I'll listen to it. Otherwise, I typically don't listen to it, to running podcasts, because I don't want to get caught up in that mindset. And what I've recently been finding is I've been getting caught up in like this corporate idea of a mindset of the business has to be run a certain way. And so what I've done is I've started unfollowing and muting business accounts that were leading me in that direction. And so like by deleting your account and removing that and coming back into the world, into this social media space, you're pressing the reset button. And I think that's okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And even now with my social media, I haven't posted in a little bit because I've been really wanting to focus on connecting in person with more people. And right now, the social media feels so forced.
Yes.
And I've been posting to stories like funny memes and everything that's just like make me laugh. And I feel like I've been actually connecting more with people just by doing that on social media than I expected. So social media, it just messes with your mind a lot. And just like you said, I struggle with showing up how I want to show up my personality and not taking on the personalities of everybody else. And I'm like, I'm not a serious person. I am sarcastic. I'm bubbly. I have dark humor. I have like,
Same, sister.
yeah. And I keep showing up like, okay, and now I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah, like that is not me. You've People have just heard my laugh. If they've listened to just about any show, they've always heard my laugh, and I will always tell the story about my laugh. I ran my first 100 miler at Lake Martin 100, which is in Alabama, and I was running with two buddies, and there was a young lady. Her name is Kalaine Concanon, and she is super awesome. To this day, I still catch her on Twitter or on LinkedIn, and we comment about this. So my buddies told a joke, and I just started laughing as loud as I possibly can, like I just did. And she was like, thank goodness I'm running next to you right now, so that I know that if I hear that sound in the middle of the night, it's not a werewolf hunting me down in the middle of the forest.
Oh
And
my
I
god.
was like, well, that's a calling card, just like Mac
Yeah.
and cheese, so is my laugh. Like, let's let people have it. Like, let's be
Yeah.
ourselves. Like, who are we protecting?
Yeah. It's real, and I think it's just we mold to everybody else, and we're scared to be our it's hard to be yourself and be vulnerable, and,
But
um
why? Like, we talked about this a little bit in the green room. I think what happens is we lower the volume on who we are
mhm,
because we're trying to protect somebody else's feelings while all we are doing is hurting our own. Like that
yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I agree. I agree with that, and I'm slowly learning how to step out of the comfort zone and putting myself out there more. You know what really helps? This is probably gonna sound weird, TikTok.
That does sound weird. Fill me in. Enlighten me.
Putting it yourself on TikTok and, like, talking to the camera and just, like, being yourself because it's so unpolished there. You're more
Okay.
welcome to show up, like, messy hair, just looking like a scrub, or just saying whatever you want,
Like
and
TLC.
Yeah, yeah. And I find, like, the community on there is just way more engaging too, and everybody's like, "I relate to this," and it's just more raw, I should
Yeah,
say. Whereas Instagram, I feel like is way more polished and put together and, like, has, like, that corporate-y kind of feel to
totally.
it. So on TikTok a lot more, and it's kinda helping
Interesting.
myself a bit and what I like and bring my personality out.
Interesting because I am moments away from deleting the RTB TikTok account. And the reason being is because Paramount Plus is, in the process of buying Warner Brothers Discovery, and that company already now has hands into TikTok, and like this whole corporate overlord thing bothers me. Now, look, this is going to get posted on Meta. It's going to get posted on Spotify. Like the corporate overlords are everywhere. I got it.
Yeah,
I just don't like those corporate overlords
I
at
get it.
Paramount. And so, like, I've thought about this, but you just bring up an interesting point. So, like, I do a morning cup of Jason every morning. I post it on Threads and I post it on Instagram. It's 30 seconds to a minute, unpolished. It's just me, whatever the conversation. Typically, that's whatever conversation Lori and I have had in bed before we get out becomes the topic du jour on the
Okay.
morning cup of Jason. So maybe I need to put it on TikTok and watch it go bananas over there instead.
Yeah. Yeah, you do a great job though at showing up and being authentic, and it makes at least me, but it seems like other people too feel safe to be themselves in the community that you've built.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. There are still parts of me that I am that are behind closed doors, shall we
Mhm.
say? My second divorce was not fun, for lack of a better phrase. My
Yeah.
first divorce went easy, and so there was nothing there to concern myself with. The second divorce didn't go well in terms of getting away from it, and so there are things that. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier. There are things I'm not saying to protect other people, but there's inner turmoil. And I've gotten to the point where it's today's February 27th. We are essentially 2 months into the year, and I'm like, fuck it. You know what? If the person that is on the other side of this audio or video from my previous life gets offended, that's on them. You've got to fucking move on at this point, right? And so I need to move on at this point too and start being more me and sharing more me. And part of that was in that blog post I wrote about gatekeeping, because
Yeah.
I used to gatekeep. Hands down, no doubt about it. I used to gatekeep because I was trying to protect whatever accomplishment I thought I had in being an Ironman. When I come to realize, like, all right, dude, you fucking swam, bike, and ran for 140.6 miles. You didn't cure cancer, right? Like, you didn't invent something that's going to change the world. Like, what do you, like, who cares, kind of thing. And so I want to go into this about, like, we're not always, but we're working on protecting other people's feelings instead of worrying about our own feelings and how do we enhance our lives. Like, you talk to moms, and I'm sure mothers are doing things to protect their husbands, to protect their kids, to protect their friends group, and not living a life that's closer to their true selves. Like, when you talk to them, like, what does that sound like?
Um, well, at first it's always very surface level and of why they came to me and why we're working together. So I just want to stop snapping and losing my shit. I want to stop feeling so overwhelmed. Okay, great. Why? Because I want to be a better mom. Like I don't want to be constantly yelling at my kids. And as we work together over time, and I do whenever I work with somebody in depth um on board assessment. So we go through like medical and family history, all that from like childhood. And everybody has something stemmed from childhood and they're everybody that I've worked with trying to break some sort of generational cycle. And that shows up with a lot of people. I feel like there's like this, not feel like there is this whole movement of drinking less or doing a dry month, sober curious type thing. And a lot of my clients were wanting to do that, but didn't know how to stop. They had addiction in their family, and then they didn't like how they felt. They didn't like how they showed up for their kids. They didn't like how they showed up around their friends, or like an even bigger one with friends is having to watch what you say in front of them and having to filter yourself. And you don't want to be surrounded by those people because it's so stressful. It's like, why are you then? You don't have to hang out with those people. Easier said than done. But I've had to have a talk with Jake about this too, where I refuse to put myself around people that I have to filter what I say. Absolutely refuse it. With friends, all my friends, I feel comfortable to say what's on my mind. I'm comfortable to have a disagreement with them and vocalize and see each other's points of views, or just like how I'm feeling. I can break down and cry to my friends, and they're not going to judge me. They're
Right.
not going to talk about me behind my back. They're going to all rally for me and help me, and I would do the same for them.
Yeah, I think social media has played a role in that because we have follower counts,
Yeah.
right? And so that idea of like accumulation of follower counts somehow gives us importance, when in reality, if you had 3, 4, 5 close friends, that bond is going to be tighter 100% of the time than it's going to be with the 10,000 followers you have, right?
Yeah.
And so so then when you get into real relationships, you should take inventory of who you're talking to and how you feel around them. And I read this the other day, and I'd love to get your thought process on it. And I wrote it down. It said, if by being real you lose people, those were fake relationships to begin with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why do we have a hard time believing that?
I probably because we want to be liked,
Right.
and we want to be liked by everybody, but you're not being yourself. You're not being authentic.
Yeah.
And you're
And
holding back.
right. And you would probably agree with this too, right? So like, if you were to host a TED talk and 20 people came to your TED talk, and 20 people came and talked to you afterwards and said, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I'd love to talk to you more. You would be on cloud nine. Your world would be so bright. Yet if you posted that same thing to social media and 20 people liked it, you would think you were a failure.
Exactly. It's a mind F.
It's weird.
Yeah,
It's so weird.
it is. And going back to like to your friends and everything, I also and working on your regulating your nervous system and being a better mom and parent, I've also realized that the people that I bring around, the friendships that I have, my kids are seeing. And I want them to know that they can have friends that they can be open with. It's not fake, it's not catty. It's not for the longest time, I mean, I grew up with all guys because I got along better with guys because they were
Mhm.
sticky. And then I finally, I'm 33, just found my group of friends, and it's the best thing. We don't see each other all the time. We're all busy, but we text and keep in touch and support each other. But my daughter likes to hang out with us, and I welcome her into that so that she can see, um, how a supportive group of women really brings you up and helps you mentor. And the same thing goes with family. Just gonna
Yeah.
say it.
I mean, I have family members that I have blocked and muted because I am going to protect my mental health before I let somebody else ruin it at this point in my life. I've gotten to this point where I'm like, just because you have the title family member doesn't entitle you to ruining my mental health. Like, you don't, that's not a
Right,
fucking free ticket to do that. And so I have
right,
blocked and muted and don't engage in conversations with certain people because I don't owe you shit. Pardon my like. I mean, I've been cursing this whole time, but I don't owe you, and like, I don't owe you my time. I don't owe you my mental health. And if you're
right.
going to come in and screw around with it when I'm working hard to get through this imposter syndrome that I have and work through my disordered eating that I have and stay sober still, pal. Like, I'm not going to allow you to come in and ruin that.
Yeah, and it's hard, and a lot of the moms that I work with, they, rely on that glass of wine or the THC at evening off, and I haven't had a drink in 3 years, and I never liked drinking, didn't like who I became on it, didn't like how I felt after, none of it. So I took a while to stop because I was trying to make other people feel comfortable by
Right.
accepting it. And then once I realized that's stupid, I stopped and it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, but when you learn how to regulate your nervous system, you don't need that. You stop reaching for it.
Hmm.
At least I did. I stopped reaching. I decided not to drink anymore. Occasionally, I'll dabble in a little, edible, but it's very low, and it's because I'm like, "Ugh, I feel like giggling a lot. I doing a
Yeah.
lot." And it's not because I need it. It's just
Right.
because, let me just, have a little fun.
Yeah.
And it's never needed anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of my clients have fallen into that too. It's like, "Oh, I don't need this when I'm regulating throughout the day and using my breath work," and just, like, checking in with yourself with how you're breathing. And are you taking those short, shallow breaths into your chest, through your mouth, or are you breathing through your nose and low into your belly? Like, those things can really shift if you go from the short and shallow through your mouth to the nasal breathing into your belly and slow it down. Your whole energy and vibe and nervous system will change in just a few minutes.
It's so interesting. So about 2 weeks ago, I made the determination that at 10 a.m. on the West Coast, because we're in LA, I will no longer respond to emails that involve the company. Just not doing it. That email that you sent at 10 a.m. on a Friday is, to me, is clearly not that important, not enough for me to run to it. And so I won't respond to it until Monday morning. And zero people have complained, right? Hey, why didn't you respond to me? And I've been able to enjoy my weekends now, because in the past I would race to answer that email and then my whole weekend would be ruined because I'd be thinking about that email and waiting for their response. And they're
Yep.
not responding because they've left the office. They're enjoying their weekend, and here I am, like, fretting over it to the point of stressing myself out. Now, so I've stopped doing that, and I think my point is to take from you is slowing down.
Yeah.
We are in such a rush to clear the notifications, clear the tasks, clear the to-do list,
Yeah.
that we're just blindly moving through life instead of being um, purposeful with our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. And that's a huge one. Like when I was working, I took my email off my phone because I worked for a company on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. They're still working when I'm done. I'm not checking my email. I'll just see it tomorrow morning. It's as simple as that. And I probably had more luxury with that being that I was a contractor. So I was on my own schedule also. But even I have talked to other moms about that too. It's that simple thing of like setting the boundary with your work and your email. And it's protecting your mental health, your nervous system. It's protecting how you show up with your family. Don't check your email in the morning. Check your email when you get to the office and you sit down. That's when you're working, because that usually sets off the stress levels while you're at home, while you're trying to get your kids to school and ready, and if we more and shit.
Yeah,
And there's also the with slowing down, we we're rushing to get our to-do list done, like you said. It's
right.
like, "Mom, play with me, play with me. I have to do the dishes. I have to clean," and, like, I'm guilty of doing that too, but it's a lot of the time I do try to say, "Alright, I can play for 15 minutes. Let me give you my full attention," and usually by this up, he's like, "Alright, I'm done, see ya." That's all, like, they only like, 5 minutes is really all they ever needed, but
Yeah,
that full, yeah, the dishes or the email, whatever, it can wait 15, 20 minutes to satisfy my kids and be a present parent.
along those same lines, I don't think we allow ourselves to get bored anymore. Like
Oh,
we're
no.
always reaching for something to entertain us. And as a content creator, what I have found most recently as this business begins to mature is that if I'm not so paranoid about getting a post out there, they become more creative. And there
Yeah.
are zero people on this planet, including my wife, who have set an alarm to say, if he hasn't posted a piece of content by this time, I'm checking in on him, right? Like
Yeah.
zero people are doing that. So like I'm so concerned about, I have been so concerned, not so much anymore, about getting it out there, get it out there, get it out there. And then what are they saying? Who's reacting? Who's doing it? And it's like, dude, go get bored. Like
Yeah.
literally go get bored. You'll find something that'll strike you as creative and you'll have fun and it'll go out there. It's exactly why I've got 2 blog posts written. I've got another, I don't know, 7 titles working right now to write these blog posts because I'm like, I don't need to just constantly write them, but when they hits, write it and share it and be creative with it.
And when you give yourself that space, I know for myself and a lot of people, when you give yourself space from anything from work, um, social media, whatever, your body and your mind are able to calm down and it allows the creativity to flow. You have capacity to think and feel and process
You're
things.
also not copying, pasting somebody else's shit,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're constantly scrolling and you see somebody and you're like, that's really funny, I should do it too. And
Yeah.
then you try to act it out and it doesn't come off, like it doesn't sell, shall we say, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just you're not into it. But if something comes up, you get into it. So I don't know if you've seen the image of they're at the track meet and there's a white dude from Grambling and his face is all contorted as he's trying to push to the finish line. And there's a black athlete from FAMU and he's got like this face of relaxation, like I got this shit. And he's passing him. And I sent it to Santino yesterday. I was like, dude, this is meaning the FAMU runner, when other people tell me that they're talking to everyday athletes. And meanwhile, they've got things up there like, oh, you're not a real runner unless you run a 6-minute mile. And I'm like you're trying too hard to appeal to the everyday athlete because you're not talking to them in the proper way.
Yeah.
And that was me being creative in a sense, right? A month ago, 6 weeks ago, 0% chance. I'd have been like, that's funny, scroll by and would have moved
Yeah.
on because it wouldn't have fit some narrative I was building for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You get so wrapped up so easily too and burn out from it. And once you catch yourself because your body is probably shutting down on you a bit, that's when you take the step back. And the whole time, um, your body is like tapping you on the shoulders, giving you little hints like slow down, and you just keep pushing through and pushing through it. And then your body shuts down on you and you're like, no. Or you get the writer's block or creator's block, whatever it is. You have no motivation. You're like, I don't even want to look at this. You get burnt out and you're like, I'm done for a while.
You know how many times I've almost shut this company down in the last 5 years because you hit that moment. You're like, I can't come up with anything. This doesn't feel right. And it's all this pressure to try to do something that isn't within me. And I think that's, goes for a lot of people. And as you were talking, it made me wonder, like, how long before you realized that you're in the middle of this anxiety, this stress, this trauma that's coming on, that you really were like, okay, I need to lean into my breath work. Like, because you've been doing the breath work for a while. And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I want people to understand, like, I'm assuming it wasn't overnight. It took time to practice and get in touch with who you are as a person. And then what was the solution to solving the stress and the anxiety and the traumas?
So for me,
Sorry, folks. We just lost Laura, so hopefully she'll bounce back here in a second. This is a great topic and a great point and a great moment in this conversation to ask you to think about, when are you thinking about breath work? When are you thinking about making sure that you're calming your nervous system so that you're not anxious, that you can sort of move the imposter syndrome to the left, and so that you can bring yourself back to central. That's it. This is a great moment. You know, we lost Laura. She's coming back here in a second, but it's a great moment for you to think about how you can use breath work and how you can press pause for a moment on your life to move forward. And we didn't plan for her to lose connection. Trust me when I say that. It just worked out perfectly for you to do this in that moment. So she's back, and let's continue the conversation.
Okay. Whew. Um, for me, I've had anxiety my whole life. I didn't know it was anxiety really. Didn't know it was nervous system dysregulation. And I have had panic attacks where I've passed out, nosedive, people have caught me. It was bad. And then on I would just God, the panic attack is coming on. I can feel it. All of the noises are blending together. I'm getting sweaty, my heart's racing. And I would just tell myself, "You're safe, you're okay." And I would bring myself back to the present moment. I was in a conversation. I bring my mind back to the and
Interesting.
be like, "We're not doing this, Laura. You're good. You're with your friends, you're fine." And I didn't realize what I was doing was changing my breathing in that time until I did my training.
How did you get into the training? Like, how did you tell yourself, okay, you need to go take lessons and get certified in this space?
My clients. So
Interesting.
I was working originally with like personal training and nutrition all with women's hormones. And a lot of them were saying how stressed they were. And I'm like, I can give you some of these suggested breath work that I've looked into, but I can't give you guidance because I don't want to trigger some trauma response or anything in them. Have an
Interesting.
ad I'm not qualified to do that.
Right.
So and I found a training, and it was funny actually. We're following this guy, and he lives in Hawaii but has a house in Ocean City.
Okay.
And so that's crazy. So then we connected. I took his course. It was 3 months long. And prior to this, I should say, I also got diagnosed with ADHD. And then there was that shortage, and everything became complicated with getting medicine for it. So I stopped taking 'em. Whatever, I'll just deal with it. Dealt
Right.
with it, might as well just raw dog it again. And so as I went through my training, we had to put everything into practice that we were learning so that we knew what our clients would be feeling
Right.
with breath work, correcting dysfunctional breathing. Most people, there's like, I think like of athletes have dysfunctional breathing patterns also, which is crazy.
Right.
But after I changed my dysfunctional breathing patterns, like I was saying, the short, shallow chest or front chest, breathing through my mouth, those are stress inducing for your body. Your your nervous system is the control center. Your breathing is the remote control to that control. So once I corrected that and started practicing work and like going through the day and checking in with my body and seeing how I was feeling, what are my thoughts, how am I holding my fist, my jaw clenched, shoulder,
Hmm.
and I would just like release it and fix my breathing. And after the 3 months, all of ADHD
That's wild.
went away. Everything. And I got this confidence that I've never had before that I can go anywhere now and be okay. I'm not gonna panic, and if I do feel myself starting to panic, I have control of it. I know how to calm myself down. I'm in the driver's seat now. The anxiety and the ADHD doesn't have control, and I started snapping less. I was just overall way calmer, and I can handle stressful situations better. Whereas before I'd be like, "I can't do this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm walking away." You know? I'd be like, "Okay, well, let's figure it out. We're making everything fine."
One of the things that I have noticed for myself, and I read this a number of years ago, was to be cognizant of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That if your tongue is on the roof of your mouth, you need to bring it down. And I don't know why, but it helps me relax, to bring my tongue off of the roof of my mouth. It makes me breathe easier. And to your point, all of a sudden things get relaxed and I don't feel like I'm over stressed out. I don't know if there's any scientific proof to that or whatever it is, but I read it one day and it's become like my Bible, when I recognize that situation happening.
Um, I haven't read about that, but I just did it as you were talking and immediately felt my jaw release and my whole face, everything just relaxed because you're releasing that tension.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, and we're going around with that all day, and um, I know there was a whole movement of like mouth tape while you're sleeping. It's actually real.
I know it is. I've,
Actually real.
I've heard the
Yeah,
guy talk, the guy who invented it. I heard, well, he
yeah.
invented mouth tape. I don't know if he invented closing your mouth that way, but he's the guy who invented the product.
Yeah, and we're supposed to breathe through our noses. There's so many benefits to it. We get more oxygen into our body, 20% more oxygen into our body. That means helping with the brain fog and memory and energy, all that, mood. And I also now, because I have, well, you know what? I just found out. I didn't notice it. I had pneumonia back in September. Sorry, side note. And September 2024. And I was like, I haven't breathed right since. I went to the ENT. I have a deviated septum. He was like, 90% of people have deviated septums, but don't notice it. But since my training, I've noticed I'm like struggling. Deviated septum and allergy. So when I run, I bring a rag and I make sure I'm clearing out my nose the entire time so I can breathe through my nose and it helps me run better.
That is wild. Did Jake notice a change in you when you started processing the stresses and breathing properly and lowering the tensions and everything else?
Absolutely. Because before, I mean, with the ADHD, I was just so forgetful and I legitimately would not see stuff. He'd be like, "Can you bring the trash out or bring those boxes out when you leave the house?" And I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Never saw them walking out the house. And, "Oh, can you put the laundry over?" Just like these little things. And he'd be like, "Are you doing this on purpose?" He was parenting me, and I felt like I was being parented. And then we ADHD or what ADHD I'm gonna do ADHD because it was really a dysregulated nervous system.
Right.
Once I resolved all that and regulated, I there's very little that I forget now, except for this past month has really beat me down. This month beat me down so badly.
It's been
Even
a rough month.
I scheduled 3 things in one day next month that I'm like, I have to choose which one and go through my calendar now because I've been a little dysregulated with all the snow and we had vacation. I've had this cold that I've been battling, not sleeping well. So when I have my ADHD symptoms show up, I know I'm getting dysregulated. That's my body tapping me on the shoulder, like, "Hey, we need to settle down a bit. We need to check on your breathing. Maybe you do need to listen to a breathwork session." Usually when I'm starting to get dysregulated, I can maybe last 5 minutes in a breathwork session, and it's hard. I think that's what I start off with my clients with. I'm not giving them a 20-minute session. To We're gonna start off with 2 minutes.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to sit for that long without squirming, and it's fine to squirm, it's fine to but you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna be miserable.
And not come back.
Yeah, and that's not what we want. If you wanna fix it, j work your way up, just like with running, you have that
Yes.
training.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's no different than running, right? Like you run a marathon, you don't run 26.2 miles on day one. You build yourself up to that point to run the marathon, and 26.2 miles. So it makes total sense that you would adopt. And I don't know if one's giving to the other, which way it flows, but the idea for anything is incremental steps are still steps, right?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
right. Like you don't have to have it all solved on day one. Slowly build into it. I think that's another thing in today's society where it's like, if I start doing this today, I need to be an expert by tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't need to be an expert by tomorrow. What if you don't like it in 2 days. And now
Yeah.
you're stuck with it? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And, the breath work did take me a little while, but the way I structure it for my clients and the way I like to share it is that start with the baby steps. Start with just slowing down your breathing, feeling it in your rib cage, like the lower rib cage, putting your hands around your waist and feeling it expand in all directions and then contract again. And like being able to um, bring that breath down lower versus keeping it up here is huge. A lot of people breathe into their chest and that's signaling the stress. So that's always my first step is if you're not breathing down low, we need to change that first and then we'll do the breath work because you're not going to get you might get a few minutes of um, relief from the breath work, but then if you go back to chest breathing, what's the point? It's not going to last.
You make me think about like the interconnectedness between yoga and what you're
Mhm.
um, educating your clients on. And I can imagine there's somebody out there who's like, "Oh, I go to yoga," and I'm also thinking in my head, but that's not the same thing, right? The yoga teacher is an expert in yoga; they're not an expert in breathwork unless they've been certified and they've done the
Right.
things, right?
Right.
And so, like, just hearing you and how you explain it has calmed me down. Just being on this conversation, like I feel calmer as I'm realizing, okay, I'm breathing the way she's talking about it, which you're not going to get from a yoga teacher, again, unless they are certified yoga. And even then, you may not even get that because they're going through the flow of the movements and everything else, as opposed to focusing singularly on the breath work in there, um, which is amazing. And it's amazing to hear the story of how you got into this from your clients and how Jake and your kids have been able to notice it and respond to it. And there's like, I know there are a lot of people who'd be like, oh, this woo woo shit, I'm not interested in it, right? Like, give me the hard, cold
Yeah.
facts. Like, just tell me to drink a protein shake or something and solve my problems. And it's like, no, like sometimes you need this opportunity to breathe and get outside and touch grass and
Yeah.
just remove yourself from the hustle and bustle of it all.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of the time in the summer, like you said, touching the grass, I'll go outside and literally lay in the grass and absorb the sun. I'm like, "This is recharging my soul."
Yes.
And there's like I said, I started out with there's so many different levels that you can go with it too, right? So, about my path and getting here and and trauma, all that. And then doing the hormones and the personal training and nutritionist. And it's really good to have all of that understanding how that affects your nervous system, especially with women in your luteal phase, the 10 to 14 days before you get your period, as progesterone rises, uh, your your CO2 sensor in your brain gets more sensitive, so it makes you breathe faster, and it can contribute to the mood changes or the stress levels, the exhaustion, brain fog, less energy to work out and run because you're breathing out so much and you're not getting as much oxygen back into your body. So there's just all these different things that trigger your system,
It's a perfect
nutrition wise.
it's a perfect lesson for significant others
Yeah.
uh, to step in, right? If this is happening, step in and help out, especially men. Like, come on, dudes. Like, you got to do better. If your
Yeah.
significant other is struggling in these moments during their menstrual cycle, like step in and help out and let them breathe and relax and go touch grass and tell them, go for a walk and get a cup of coffee. I got
Yeah.
this. Like, you are fully capable of washing dishes, you're fully capable of taking the garbage out, you're fully capable of watching your kids as well. Like,
Yeah.
be better, dudes. Seriously.
Yeah, and Jake is so wonderful with it and always has been, but ever since I started learning about my body, I've been teaching him and he's been fascinated too. But like the other day, a few days before I was getting my period, I was like, he was working from home. I ran some errands. I came home and climbed into bed. I was like, "You need to get out of the bedroom. I need to take a nap." And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Never been so tired. I haven't taken a nap in years. Get out. Like, and he's just like, "All right, that's fine." And I woke up before I needed to get the kids. And he's like, "Are you up?" Because he's like, "I planned on getting the kids for you because I do that every day." He's usually
Right.
working. And he's like, "I was going to get them for you. Do you still want me to?" And I was like, "No." I love pickup. I love pickup so much because they're just like, "Yay, mom." So I don't like missing that. But yeah, he shows up when I need to, when I ask him, or when he recognizes I need a break. And it's a partnership in life. It's not, I have these responsibilities, you have those responsibilities, and I'm not going to pick up any slack,
Right.
because it's no, we're in this together, and we help each other grow and feel better and support each other when we're not feeling our best.
Yeah, we won't put this on the reel when we promote the show because we don't want to have Jake's head get too big. But good
Yeah.
job, Jake.
Yeah. This will have to stay here. I'm gonna make sure he ends.
I'll edit this out. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. It's all good.
Hopefully he's not listening right now because he's working.
Well, he can't be because we're not live, so he can't hear it right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to like soundproof my office.
Laura, thank you so much for joining me. We're bumping up on an hour. Where can people contact you if they want to ask you questions about breathwork, hire you as is it called a breathwork coach? Is that what it would be?
Yeah, I still like to say nervous system regulation coach.
Okay. So
Probably
where can
easy.
they find you?
Instagram, it's Laura Birch. Nice and simple. You can message me on there right now.
Oh, I don't think it's you, by the way. I think it's our internet here.
All right, my internet is in and out sometimes too, so could be both of us.
It's at Laura Birch on Instagram. We'll drop it in the show notes as well. So reach out to her there. Before I let you go, we always have our food questions. I'm working on a new name for it. We have always called it rapid fire food questions, but I really don't care if you answer them in 2 seconds or not. I just love
Okay.
hearing people talk about food. So we've already had the pineapple on pizza debate, the dill pickle on pizza debate. So Oreo cookies. We are huge fans of Oreo cookies at the Run Try Bike community in the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse. Are you an OG? Are you a double stuff? Are you a thin or are you a cakester fan?
Okay, so I am actually an Oreo thin fan.
Okay. And just the normal flavor, or do you go tiramisu? Do you go mint?
I haven't really tried the other flavors, although we did have, I think it was just like regular flavor, but it was superhero, so it was dyed blue. And they were the regular ones, and I don't know, I like the regular thin Oreos. They've been hitting the spot lately.
So those are two different things. A regular Oreo and a thin Oreo are two different things. The thin
Well,
is the
regular
cracker.
flavored.
Okay.
Yes, regular flavored thin Oreo. I don't know why. I used to be a regular Oreo fan, but then I started with the thins, and
I've
I
become a
can't
huge
buy
fan of the
them.
loaded, which is the cream is cookies and cream, Oreo cookies and cream in the middle of the Oreo. And so my trick is I twist it and take the one wafer that doesn't have cream on it and put it underneath the wafer that does have cream and then bite through it that way. And I don't know why, but it all of a sudden gives you like this double explosion of cookies and cream flavor all in one shot. It's amazing.
That actually sounds amazing. I Cookies and cream is my favorite, so I'll have to try that one. Um, oh, I was just gonna ask you something about Oreos. Darn it.
We're trying to get them as a sponsor, so you better ask the question.
Well, I haven't stopped eating them since I started following you.
Yes, you hear that, Mondelez? We are influencers.
I have not legitimately. I buy them every week in the groceries, and we buy blondies and the regular, or the thin, I should
Yeah.
say, the thin ones.
The
Um,
blueberry pie that they put out, special order, was amazing this year. The apple pie one they put out was really good. Selena Gomez, which is basically cinnamon, was okay. They weren't as good as I wanted them to be.
yeah,
But
I
I've
could
become
see
a
that.
huge fan of the loaded. So good. And The 7-Eleven. Go ahead, Japanese. You're going to ask about the Japanese flavor?
No, I remember what I was going to say. Now, if you pull it apart and you don't do the double stack, which side are you eating first, the cookie or the one with the cream?
The cookie.
Yeah.
Get rid of, get rid
Save.
of the get rid of the bad side first.
Yeah, I figured. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and the place across the street they haven't had any new flavors. The 7-Eleven across the street in the Japanese section hasn't had any new flavors. I did pick up the blueberry raspberry combo the other day, so I have that again. So I'm hoping that they'll put some new flavors in there. But I won't do matcha. I don't like matcha on its own, so the Oreo matcha I just can't imagine would taste any better.
Interesting. And do they have a pistachio
Not
flavor?
yet. There's not been a pistachio one there yet that
Mm,
I've seen. And I recently have fallen in love with the Japanese Kit Kats that they have there. They have so I've tried. They've had a caramel one, like a salted caramel one, which has been amazing. And a strawberry one is fabulous. The raspberry one is good, but the one that I'm in love with is orange. It's the orange Kit Kat. It is so good. It's
it sounds refreshing.
so good.
I used to be obsessed with Kit Kats. Not so much anymore. They're not hitting the spot, and I've really committed to the Twixes.
Would you say that Twix is your favorite chocolate candy?
I guess I really love the Cellas. Do you know Cella?
Yes.
Yeah, the chocolate covered cherry,
Yep.
which hands up has a cherry and chocolate ice cream, which tastes exactly like it.
So then, are you a fan of Black Forest cake?
I don't know. Is it just like all chocolate
Chocolate and cherry.
or chocolate and cherry? I don't think I've ever had it.
Put it on the to-do list. Tell
Yeah,
Jen to drive around. Maybe go over to Philly and find a bakery that's got Black
yeah.
Forest cake.
My birthday's next month. That's
There
what I'll
you go.
ask.
There you go.
Yeah,
See
maybe
if you can,
chocolate.
see if you can find a cupcake. This way it doesn't ruin your whole birthday if you actually don't like it.
Yeah, that's true. But then I'll be disappointed that I don't have more.
What's your favorite non-chocolate candy?
Probably Swedish fish.
Yes. Have you
Or
done? Have you
nerds. I've been loving, and the nerds with
the gummy
the
clusters? Yeah, nerd clusters.
the gummy clusters, but with the juice in it now.
Yes. Yes.
Those are
By the
so
way, just the other day, Nerds Candy commented on one of our posts. Nerds Candy, sponsor us. We are influencers. We send them
yeah.
out in the welcome boxes when people join the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse.
Yeah, nerds hit the spot, but they just make your mouth so watery that you can't stop eating them.
Yes. That's how they get you. That's how you end up spending, $78 on
Yeah,
Nerds clusters. Have you tried the blueberry lemon Swedish fish?
that seems risky.
It's top notch.
Is
I love
it?
lemon. I love lemon. So
Okay.
take that with a grain of salt.
All right, I'll try it. I'm always open to trying things, so I will try it. But there,
I'm gonna have to send out a goodie bag for you. I'm gonna go get some Japanese
yeah.
Oreos and some blueberry lemon Swedish fish.
Oh yeah. And
The
then don't tell anybody about it though, because then
No,
everybody like the box that you sent for the welcome to the clubhouse, kids were like, "Can I have it? Can I?" I'm like, "No, this is for this is mine."
I love it. Peeps. Are Peeps a real candy? No, already. I don't even have to finish the question. That face tells me everything.
They're disgusting. They're
Aw-
for decoration only,
yes,
not to eat.
awful. Candy corn. Is candy corn a real candy or is it just earwax covered in sugar?
Now I'm never gonna look at it the same. Do a little handful of them every now and then, but it's not what I'm choosing.
Nah. I don't know who keeps them in business, but they're still there every Thanksgiving. It's wild to me.
Yeah.
Red velvet cake, is that a real flavor or is it just chocolate cake dressed up to go to the prom?
I don't think it's a real flavor. I think maybe it can change the texture because I know like red food dye kind of changes the texture of stuff or food dye in general.
Like
I
real bakers will tell you, it's alkalized cocoa and it is different than chocolate cake. But that's if you're going to a bakery. Like if you go to the grocery store and you're getting the slab cake from the bakery section, that's just red dye. Like they're
or
not.
like the box that you
Yeah,
go. That's
yeah.
what I'm. If it's, I think that it's I think it's all mental. But it's so good. I fall for it. What do you think? Do you think it's
I won't eat it. Like,
you won't eat it? Oh, I
no,
love
because at the prices that they're charging for chocolate cake, just give me the chocolate cake, right?
yeah.
Like if you go to a diner, the red velvet cake is $4.90 or $7.99, and the chocolate cake is $4.99. They are not making bakery style
No.
red velvet cake at a diner. So just give me the $4.99 chocolate cake, and I'm good to go there. Now, if I
Yeah,
go
that
to a
makes sense.
bakery, because then you have the cream cheese frosting and all of that good stuff happening in there, then I can see doing it. But it has to be like a special
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah, the bakery one is so good. Now I'm like, what dessert do I birthday?
See, now
Maybe
you
I'll
can
just
go.
get like a slice of each, a
Yes,
cupcake of
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. They could build you a whole cake. This is a great question. What would be in there? Because for me, I would have German chocolate. I would have Black Forest cake. If I'm getting it from a bakery, red velvet is absolutely included in there. And then my fourth one is going to be carrot cake.
oh, carrot cake is so good.
Right?
Oh, so good. Um, I don't know. I didn't know that there were like all these different types of chocolate cake. Um,
We need to move to Philadelphia so I can take you out with Jake so we can go cake shopping.
seriously. Um, I really like a chocolatey fudgy layer
Uh-huh.
inside my chocolate cake.
Yes.
And but I also love a cream cheese frosting. Um, and what else do I need I I don't know because sometimes I do really love an ice cream cake.
Oh, Carvel.
Yeah, and my sister makes homemade ice cream cakes.
Oh, wow.
And so you can tell her whatever ice cream you want. And I like the cookies and cream, and she mashes up the cookies and puts that layer in also.
I definitely need to move to Philly because then
Yeah.
we'll just have a massive cake party
Yeah.
night. Like I remember when I growing up in New York, we would like Carvel would have Fudgy the Whale, which was so damn good because you get the little crunchies from the chocolate cookie bits. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm drooling now, and I need to go
Yeah.
find a Carvel cake around here.
Yeah. So
All
good.
right, I've kept you for so long. So the last question for you is: a tray of brownies has come out of the oven. It's been sitting on the counter long enough to cool down a little bit, so you can cut into it without making a mess. Are you going corner piece? Are you going edge piece? Or are you going into the middle for the ooey gooey?
I'm going for a corner piece. I oh my dude. It cannot just all be soft. I can't do that. And whatever I say. It's
Corner
so good.
piece of lasagna, corner piece of the Sicilian pie
Yeah.
at the pizza joint, corner piece of the brownies. I'm with you, sister.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
with you on all of it.
I'm not letting it cool. That's unrealistic. I will burn my mouth eating.
Like when you get the pizza rolls, you're eating them like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Anything I bake. I'm not
I
letting
love it.
anything.
You've been an awesome guest. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
See ya.
For those of you that have hung around with us for a little over an hour, thank you so much. That's the siren going off to let us know that the show is over. But please do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. And if you are watching us on YouTube or listening on Spotify, drop a comment. Let us know what you thought. What question didn't I ask that you wanted me to ask? And lastly, when you rate us, I'm looking for 5 stars. If you're inclined to give me anything but 5 stars, please send me an email first, jason@runtribemag.com. I'd love to get this show better so that you enjoy your time with me. We'll see you next week on the next Fireside Chat. Have a great one, everybody.